All right, this is some help with the second part of Chapter 11, Section 7, where you have to simplify the radicals, the square roots, before you can add or subtract them. Because before you simplify them, you can't tell if they're like terms or like radicals or not. So number 8, we'll start with that. You are correct that 32 is equal to 16 times 2. That does break down that way. And then once you have that, then you're not done yet. Then you should write this as the square root of 16 times the square root of 2. But what is the square root of 16? The square root of 16 is 4. So we still have 4 times the square root of 2. That's what the square root of 32 simplifies to, 4 square root of 2. Then we had minus the square root of 8. But the square root of 8, as you wrote, is the same as the square root of 4 times the square root of 2. But what's the square root of 4? It's just 2, plain old 2. So now we have 4 square root of 2, that's what the square root of 32 simplified to, minus 2 square root of 2. Now we have like radicals, and 4 square root of 2 minus 2 square root of 2 equals 2 square roots of 2. So that's what this whole thing simplifies to 2 square roots of 2. Okay, so similar thing on number 9. You have 4 square root of 12 plus square root of 75. And so that means 4 times the square root of 6 times the square root of 2. But when you write 12 as its product of factors, instead of using 6 and 2, because neither of those are perfect squares, try to think of what times what that equals 12. What factors of 12? One of them at least is a perfect square. So if we did 4 times 3, then we know what the square root of 4 is. It's 2. So that would be a better one to pick than 6 and 2. And then you simplified the square root of 75 as 25 times 3. And that's a good one because the square root of 25 is a perfect square. So here's what we have so far. We have 4 times the square root of, we're going to go with 4, times the square root of 3, plus the square root of 25 times the square root of 3. And now we simplify. Wherever we see a perfect square, we replace it with what number that's equal to. Like the square root of 4, we know, is 2. And the square root of 25 is 5. So now we have 4 times 2 times the square root of 3 plus 5 times the square root of 3. And that simplifies. 4 times 2 is 8 times the square root of 3 plus 5 square root of 3. And those are like radicals, so we can add the numbers in front and get 13 square roots of 3. So that's how you're going to do all of these ones that have to be simplified first. You want to simplify by finding what perfect square could you rewrite this as. Like this 28c, that's 4 times 7. So I could write this as the square root of 4 times the square root of 7c. I'm going to keep the c with the 7. This is number 12 here. Because I know there's not a perfect 7 is not a perfect square. But square root of 4 is. So then this whole part would simplify to 2 times the square root of 7c. And then plus 9. And then you have to simplify the square root of 24c. Well, let's see. 4 times 6. So let's write it as the square root of 4 times the square root of 6c. And square root of 4 is 2. So it doesn't look like we're going to be able to combine that anymore because one of them is 7c and one of them is 6c. But we did get it into a simpler, we did it as much as we could do. So check those over. You want to make sure that you have them as simplified as possible before continuing. I'm just looking quick at this next one, number 20. That looks correct. So it's the simplifying the expressions one that you need to review. These ones too, they're not done yet. So you want to fix those ones as well. Okay, thanks. I hope that helped. Bye-bye.